We have done a lot of renovations since we got this flip house. Anywhere from railing makeovers to new electrical to ripping up tile, replacing the flooring throughout, even adding another bedroom and so much more. But there are still a couple projects that are left to do, and it's time to get another project done. I am at the reno house today and I am going to be working on giving this orange shiplap a makeover. This is something that I actually already did in the basement bedroom downstairs, and I absolutely love how it turned out. If you know anything about me, I am just not a huge fan of this orangey wood look, so we're going to be changing that today. This is one of the few pieces left in the house that has been untouched and it's still original to the house. It is also just as dirty as everything was in the house when we first started, so we have to get it cleaned up before we can really do anything huge to it. If you watch any of my furniture flipping videos, then you're going to realize that this process of flipping or making over this wood shiplap is actually very similar to how I flip my furniture. So if you like this video, make sure to go ahead and check out my furniture flips as well, because I think you will really enjoy those too. Now, before we get too far into the video, if you guys could please like it and subscribe down below, that would really help my channel grow. Any interaction like commenting, sharing this video, turning on your post notifications, all of those are ways to help my channel grow. Now let's first start off this makeover by cleaning it up. There is no hardware to be taken off like our furniture flips, but this shiplap is dirty and we can't put any paint on it before that is done. In order to clean this wood shiplap, I'm just using warm water and a wet rag. This shiplap has been cleaned before, but because this whole house has been a renovation zone, it has gotten dirty since. There is no grime left behind, but there is a lot of that dust, which is just easily picked up by the water and the rag. After a couple minutes of letting the shiplap dry from cleaning it, I then went ahead and started to give it a scuff sand. I just have my sander hooked up to my shop vac so that the dust is very minimal, but it's not totally gone. So you do want to keep that in mind, maybe use a respirator. In most cases, you should clean, sand, and then clean again. That is what I'm doing here. However, in this case, it probably wasn't necessary because, like I said, all the grime was already gone. So now I really am kind of just cleaning up dust twice, which is fine. Then I'll just know that this shiplap is really ready for primer and paint. You can see that there are kind of some scuff marks, and this is after wiping it all down. So now we're ready for primer. If you've seen shiplap before, then you would know that it does have those indents to separate the pieces, and that's kind of the whole part of the look. And because it is a little bit harder for me to get in there with a roller, I am first going through with my paintbrush and just really getting everything inside those grooves, which made it 10 times easier to go back through with my roller afterwards. This is a pretty tedious project, especially when you have to go back and hand paint a majority of the wood here. But I would say I was able to get this whole project done in about 8 hours. Now, if you had a paint sprayer, that would also make things go by a lot quicker. But I'm kind of a hand paint and roller type girl over here, at least for now. So it took me around 8 hours. But if you were to spray this project could get done much faster. You guys, I promise you it looks worse before it gets better, but it does get better. During a project like this, you have to remember that this is only the primer, and primer is not supposed to give you full coverage whatsoever. The purpose of using a primer is so that the paint can adhere to the surface properly, and in this case, it's also really gonna help cover those knots and prevent bleed through that pine can give you. This Kills primer is a great primer for this, but it can get a little bit spendy, so I only use it when I have to. I let the primer dry for a couple hours, and then I was getting started on getting ready to paint. And I am using this Showcase paint from Sherwin-Williams in the color Extra White. I am using this white paint on all of the trim. I just used it on the railing makeover, and I'm using it on multiple accents throughout the house because I really think that this crisp white is going to accent very well with the Dove gray paint that we just painted on all of the walls. I am using the same process as I did with the primer, where I am going through and hand painting any of the corners or any of the grooves that are going to be kind of hard to use with the roller. But then after that, I will go through with the roller, and that's just going to make things so much quicker, especially with painting white, because I know I'm going to need multiple coats. When painting white, I've come to learn that I need to typically expect to do multiple coats. This was after the first coat of the paint, and then the second coat was giving much better coverage, but it wasn't quite there yet. Now the third coat is where everything really fell into place. The coverage was amazing, and after a couple touch-ups and other little projects, this space was ready for its final reveal. Now make sure to go ahead and like this video and subscribe, and let's get into it.